Hello. How are you this evening? Sorry I'm a little late. I was getting set up and I'm in a different location of my property here, and it was telling me that it wasn't connected very well. So this might even go out at some point. I hope it doesn't, but stay with me and we'll get back. But we are live for our children's sermon tonight. It is Wednesday, and Wednesday will be our children's sermon day until we change it again. If we do, you never know. We're always able to be flexible. But certainly it's, I wouldn't say it's a wonderful day. In fact, it's a cold day. If you look at the sky behind me, it looks like a winter sky instead of a summer sky, or at least a spring sky. Those look like clouds that could bring snow. The trees look like the leaves are falling rather than growing. And I'm pretty well bundled up, aren't I? There's a reason for that, but we'll let you know here a little bit when we get a few more people on. Looks like they're bouncing off and on. We were up to 5, now we're down to 4. Let me know that you're here so we can continue. Now we're down to 3. Oh, man. It could be that we're just at. Let me move the screen. See if that helps our situation any better, that the signal from our Wi-Fi modem, or whatever they call that thing, gets here. See, Donna's there, and she said, "Burr, yeah, it was cold this morning, and it didn't warm up a whole lot." Oops, sorry, I'm shaking. I'm out here on the deck. Hey, Jennifer says that the Williams are here. Is Brad out working? I know that we've got Gianna and Chloe at least. And oh, it says the girls, so Brad must be out working. But maybe Ava and Leah. I could use a acolyte Sunday from one of you girls, if you would, please. I know one of you was going to do it Easter, and Katie did it, but we like to switch off, so we've got a baptism, so we need a acolyte up front for that. Yeah, Brad's at work, yeah. It's going to be hard to kill weeds when it's 37 degrees out, but yeah. I guess you can put fertilizer on, can't you? So, what am I doing outside? Why am I here? I'm here so the dogs can hear me talking and can bark at me. Because we've got dogs all over the neighborhood, and all they do is bark. Bark, 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 bark. Drives you nuts. But anyways, I'm out here on the porch, and what do you think I'm doing with this? Huh? What is this for? I've got it in my little lake here, my 5-gallon lake. What is this? What am I doing? Anybody have a guess what I'm doing? I think things are slow because I think all of you know what I'm doing. But I want to hear it from you. Gianna said fishing. Yes, that is correct. I'm fishing in my 5-gallon bucket lake with my fishing rod, the small rod that belongs to Kirsten. She let me know it, but she said I could use it. She hasn't used it in 30 years, but I guess she still claims ownership. Funny how that works. But anyways, I'm sitting here fishing. And I know some of you have gone fishing. I don't know if Gianna and Chloe have gone fishing. I know Kenzie. I've seen pictures of Kenzie and Nolan and Colton going fishing. I got some relatives, my youngest brother and his wife and most of their family live in Tampa. And they've got a boat, and they're always going out on the Gulf of Mexico. And they're catching fish, big sea fish like tarpon and redfish, and some smaller ones too. But looks like a lot of fun. I'll have to visit them sometime. They invited me to come down, and I don't know if Lisa doesn't like fishing because, you know, sometimes you got to get your hands dirty. If you're fishing, you're going to get your hands dirty. You see, here's the thing with fishing. When you're trying to catch fish, you have to use something that the fish like. You tempt them. You ever heard that word, tempt? So what can we use to tempt the fish to go so they'll bite on our hook? What do we use? Oh, for fishing for like perch and sunnies and, you know, smaller fish like that, and sometimes even bigger fish. They bite on worms. Yeah, so you take your worm and you put it on your hook. Well, I don't have any worms. I've just got fake worms. So sometimes when you don't have the real thing, you can use a fake one, and it fools them, and the fish will bite on it, and your pole will wiggle. Oh, it goes like this. Whoa, it bends. That means you got a fish. And some fish, they like to eat other fish. They like to eat minnows. So you can have a minnow. Yeah. So yeah, bait is what we use, and one of those baits is worms. The other thing is minnows. Yep. And say if you don't have real minnows, because sometimes they die when they're in the bucket because it's warm out, you can use bait. This is a crankbait, fake minnows. And it scoots along like this, and the fish thinks it's a minnow, and they bite on it, and there's sharp hooks on there. Can you see those hooks? Yeah, they swing back and forth. It's got two sets of hooks. You can't see the other one because my hand's in the way, and I've been hooked already once tonight. I don't want to have that happen again. Those hooks are sharp. Some fish like bass, they like crawfish. They're like little tiny lobsters that go in the streams and between the rocks, and they come out in the lake and they go in the rocks. And the crawfish, you can catch them, or you can use bait again. Like Chloe said, bait. And here is a crawfish, you see. Oh, it's hard to see. Its little eyes, its little claws. And it looks just like a crawfish, so the fish will bite it. And some fish are like people. They're just angry. They just snap at everything. So we use something shiny, and it spins, and it's got a gold side, and it's got a yellow and red side, and it spins, and the sun glistens off of it. And they just get angry, and they go, arr, arr, and they bite it, and you catch them. That's what happens. Sometimes you get in trouble when you get angry. So it's best not to get too angry, because you can get caught. So that's what happens in fishing. I'm going to put my fishing pole down, and I'm going to pull out my Bible here and read from you from Matthew chapter 4. When Jesus first started his mission, when he first came to help people, he needed help. He needed others to be around him because he couldn't do it all. So he got what he called his apostles. And a bunch of them, like Peter and Andrew and James and John, possibly Philip and Nathaniel, I think one other, were fishermen. That's what they did for a living. They caught fish and they sold it at the market. And so Jesus went to them, and he said, follow me, Where am I here? Yeah, it says, while walking by the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon, who was called Peter, and Andrew, his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishermen. And Jesus said to them, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." And immediately they left their nets, and they followed Jesus. And then he went to James and John and did the same thing. And they left the boat, they left their nets and followed Jesus. So they're going to be fishers of people, is what Jesus said. Now people are like fish. We don't have bug eyes and we don't have gills or a fish mouth, do we? Ever gonna do a fish mouth? If you ever had goldfish, you know what they do. So, if we catch fish with what they like worms and bait and crawfish and minnows, what do we catch people with? Can we catch people with anger? Can we catch people with laws and we run around saying, don't do that, don't do that, don't do this. You're a bad person. No, that's not going to work, is it? They're just going to walk away. But what Jesus caught people with, and he wanted his disciples to catch people with, and you know what? We are his disciples. Jesus wants us to catch others with love. With love. We love them, even if sometimes they're difficult to love. Even if we don't like them sometimes, Jesus wants us to love them. We give them grace. We say, you know, I know you're trying hard to be good, and that's a good thing. But sometimes you fall down, but I still love you. You see, that's called grace. And that's how we catch people for Jesus. So each and every day, we try to be nice to others. But we also tell them the reason that we're nice to them. And we're nice to them because Jesus is nice to us and Jesus loves us. So we are nice to others and we love the others. Is that something y'all can do? Yeah. So you can be fishers of people too, just like the apostles were. Now, if I'm sitting out here with my 5-gallon bucket, with my stocking hat and winter coat on, what kind of fishing am I doing? Huh? What kind of fishing am I doing? We don't do too much of it here in Illinois, but when I was in Minnesota, they did a lot of it. I wasn't a big fan of it because I don't like cold. I'm ice fishing. Did you ever hear ice fishing? Yeah. And when you're ice fishing, what kind of fish do you catch? Oh, I've got a fish. Oh, look it. It's pulling on my rod. It's pulling on, yes, ice fishing. This fish is pulling on my rod. I got to reel it in. Ah, it's a big one. And here it is. And I caught it. I'm ice fishing and I caught a frozen fish. A frozen fish fillet. Go figure. Who'd have thunk that, huh? Yeah. Well, it's good to be here with you tonight. I hope you enjoyed our fishing trip. I always enjoy fishing trips. So remember that Jesus has called us to be fishers of people, fishers of others. And we catch them not with a minnow with sharp hooks, but with love. Let's gather around and pray. Dear Jesus, we thank you for your love that you spread to others. You spread it generously, even when we don't deserve it. Even when we're an angry fish, you still love us. And yeah, you still give us grace and you hug us. And Lord, we just ask that you help us to be more like you. Help us to be fishers of other people, so that they would know of your love. And because of knowing your love and your grace, that they would try to be better people, and they too would love each other. And pretty soon, the whole world would love each other. And I know that's what you want, God. So, Jesus, you help us to be strong to do that, and give us great big hearts so that we can love each other. And we pray this in your name, because you are love. And all God's children said, Amen. Good night, and we'll see you adults tomorrow at 9 o'clock p.m. Good night.